Most people think of the front gate as a simple boundary, a way to keep things out, maybe keep pets in. But what if I told you it's doing something far more powerful, silently, and continuously? Your front gate is the very first moment your home meets the world. And whether you realize it or not, it's either opening the door to prosperity or quietly turning it away. Not because of superstition, not because of tradition, but because energy, subtle, invisible, and always in motion, responds to space, direction, and design more than we give it credit for. And in a culture where so many of us work hard, plan smart, and still feel like luck skips our house, that quiet gate might be worth a second look. Maybe you've noticed it before. Things in life moving slower than they should, good news arriving late, small tensions at home that have no name, but build up. It's not dramatic, just off. And it starts at the gate, a gate that swings the wrong way, a pathway that rushes too fast, a heavy hinge that resists, or a corner that's always in shadow. These small details aren't just physical, they create the first impression for every energy, every opportunity, every feeling that tries to enter your life. This isn't about rebuilding your home. It's about noticing what your home is already saying. Because when energy flows in without crashing, gathers instead of rushing, and feels welcomed instead of filtered out, something changes. Not suddenly, but noticeably. You rest better. Money stretches further. Life has more ease and less static. That's why today, we're not just talking about fixing a gate. We're talking about opening a quiet invitation, one that lets good energy know this is a home where it's safe to stay. Part 1. Are you letting all your good energy slip away? There's a strange kind of silence that settles over homes where energy never quite stays. It's not something you notice right away. The house is clean, the bills are paid, the roof doesn't leak, but somehow, everything feels like it's slipping just a little. You work hard, but money seems to vanish. You make plans, but they stall. You rest, but you don't feel rested. It's not bad, it's just not right. And too often, we accept that feeling as normal. But what if that uneasy quiet, the one that lingers between effort and reward, doesn't come from you at all? What if it starts right at your front gate? You see, energy doesn't knock politely and wait to be invited in. It moves with momentum. It flows, collects, turns, or escapes, depending on the path you give it. And your front gate, that's the first point of contact. It decides whether that energy gets to gather, or whether it rushes right past you. Now imagine this, your gate is pressed up against the sidewalk, no space to breathe, no pause before the world meets your home. What do you think enters first? Not peace, not opportunity, just motion, fast, chaotic, unmanaged motion. It's like pouring water straight from a faucet into a cup that's too small. Everything overflows. Nothing stays. That's what happens when your gate doesn't allow energy to slow down, to settle, to choose to stay. You start to feel it, quietly, in everyday life, the paycheck that never seems to stretch, the relationships that feel fine on the surface but never deepen, the sleep that ends too early. It all adds up to a life that's running but not rooted. And the hardest part, most people never think to look at their gate. They upgrade the kitchen, repaint the walls, install smart lighting. But the front gate, the very threshold between the outside world and the life they're building inside, gets ignored. Or worse, it's designed for aesthetics, not energy. A fancy gate can still drain you if it's placed wrong. A wide gate, without the right setback, can let everything in: dust, noise, pressure, judgment, and let all your good energy leak out before it has a chance to nourish you. Here's what no one tells you: a gate doesn't just guard your house. It shapes the tone of every single day. When you open your gate and step into your space, you should feel like you're crossing into safety, into stillness, into presence. But when the gate is too close to the road, when it's tight against concrete, or when there's no room to pause before entering, you don't transition, you just spill forward. And your energy does too. Think about the homes you've visited that instantly felt calm, grounded, warm. Do you remember what greeted you? A small patch of earth, a step back from the world, a curve in the path. Those weren't just design choices. They were energetic invitations. They said, slow down here, rest here, you're welcome here. That is the power of a proper gate setback. Not to block, but to buffer. not to shut out but to prepare. It creates a moment between movement and arrival, and in that moment, everything can shift. Without it, the opposite happens. Life becomes noise. You leave the world behind, but it follows you in. Your front door no longer feels like arrival, it feels like continuation. Like work that never ended, tension that didn't get left at the street, decisions that kept whispering into the kitchen. Over time, that unfiltered energy creates wear. Emotional wear, physical fatigue, financial frustration that doesn't match the effort you're putting in. And the saddest part, it's not your fault. You didn't choose a restless life. You just didn't know your gate needed to breathe, needed space, needed time to catch the wind and hold it before passing it on to you. That's why adjusting your front gate isn't about superstition. It's about support. It's about designing your life so that good things don't have to fight their way in. They arrive gently, they stay longer, and you feel the difference. So today, take a moment. Stand at your front gate. Step just outside and turn around. What meets you? A soft welcome or a rush? Is there a breath between the street and your space, or just a thin line? If your gate is too close, if there's no buffer, no room to pause, you're not just letting energy in. You might be letting everything good slip away before it even gets a chance to enter. In the next section, we'll look at another quiet mistake many homeowners make without realizing it, the one that invites fortune in only to watch it flow right out the back door. Part 2, a straight path might be the fastest way to lose everything. Some homes look perfect on paper. The front gate opens wide, the walkway is clear, and the main door stands straight ahead, like a welcome sign. But sometimes, the most convenient path is the one that takes everything from you. It's a layout many architects favor: a direct line from the street to the front door. It's easy to design, easy to navigate. But what flows easily in can also flow right back out. That's the risk no one talks about. Energy doesn't linger in spaces that rush it through. When the gate and the front door are aligned in a perfect straight line, energy enters with speed, but with no reason to stop. It moves forward, cuts through the home like a wind tunnel, and exits just as fast as it came in. You might not see it, but you feel it. The house feels restless. People argue more. Money slips through. Good news comes, but never stays. It's not a storm, but a constant breeze that slowly erodes the foundation of peace. Think about how we interact with people. The ones who rush in, talk fast, and leave. They rarely leave a lasting impression. But the ones who pause, settle in, and give you space to feel, they're the ones who stay with you. Energy works the same way. It needs moments to pause, corners to collect, softness to land. When the front gate leads directly to the heart of your home, there's no moment of settling, there's only movement. And movement without pause becomes restlessness. Not just in the home, but in the people living inside it. You may notice the signs. A feeling that life is always on edge. A pressure to do more even when you're exhausted. A home that feels like a hallway, never a sanctuary. That's not just design. That's energy being pushed in and pulled out without intention. And the cost isn't always visible. It shows up in small things: decisions made in a rush, opportunities missed because they never felt right, relationships strained by invisible tension. Over time, the house becomes a passageway, not a place to root. And still, most people wouldn't question it. Because on the outside, the house looks fine, the yard is neat, the lights work, but something deeper is missing. That feeling of holding energy, of keeping what you earn, of building momentum and not losing it. That only happens when your home gathers energy, and a straight line layout does the opposite. In traditional energetic wisdom, a home should invite energy in like a soft curve, never like a straight road. When a gate opens directly to the front door, it creates what many call piercing energy. Sharp, fast, unfiltered. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't rest. It moves right through you. And even if you don't believe in energy in the spiritual sense, think of it in emotional terms. When someone can look from the street and see straight into your private space, there's no boundary, no softness, no space to decompress. Privacy dissolves, and with it, peace. A home designed to welcome energy gently feels different the moment you step inside. There's a rhythm to it, a transition. You feel like the outside world has been left behind, but with a direct line from street to door, that boundary disappears. It may seem efficient, but it invites everything in, including the chaos of the world. Sirens, tension, pressure. Without a buffer, your home becomes a continuation of everything you were trying to escape. There are subtle clues that your home may be affected by this. Maybe the front room always feels cold or empty. Maybe you feel watched even with curtains closed. Maybe the house never truly feels like yours. Those aren't design flaws. They're symptoms of energy that doesn't settle. And over time, it leads to emotional fatigue. You feel like you're running, even when you're sitting still. But here's the hopeful part. You don't need to rebuild your home. You just need to redirect the flow. If moving the gate isn't possible, place a visual buffer, something that softens the line. A plant, a screen, a low wall, even a row of stones. These aren't decorations. They're energetic invitations that say, slow down here. Pause before you enter. Leave the noise at the gate. Step into peace. The most powerful homes don't just look beautiful, they feel balanced. And that balance often comes from the way they hold energy. A home that gathers energy is like a well. It fills, stores, nourishes. A home that lets it escape becomes dry, no matter how much you try to refill it. That's why so many people keep searching for what's missing: new routines, new tools, new intentions. But sometimes, it's not about adding more. It's about changing the flow. So pause for a moment and imagine, what if your front gate didn't push energy straight through, but gave it a reason to stay? What if your entryway was a curve, not a tunnel? What if the first thing anyone, including energy, felt when approaching your home was the sense that here, things are meant to linger? That single shift from straight to softened can change everything. Because when energy enters your life with intention, when it slows down enough to root itself, you begin to feel held, safe, supported. You stop chasing peace and start living in it. In the next part, we'll explore something even more intimate, not just where the gate points, but what it's facing. Because direction doesn't just decide what comes in, it reveals whether the energy entering your home truly belongs to you or is pulling you further away from yourself. Part 3: What direction is your gate facing, and does it match you? Some places feel right the moment you walk into them. You can't always explain why. The air feels softer, the tension in your chest loosens, and you breathe a little deeper without trying. Other places, though, carry a kind of friction. You walk in and feel drained for no reason. Your head gets foggy, you lose focus. It's not loud or dramatic, it's subtle. But your body knows, your energy knows. And often, the difference comes down to one quiet factor. No one talks about direction. Everything in your home has a direction. Your windows, your bed, your main door. But none are more powerful than your front gate. Why? Because it's the very first place that chooses the kind of energy allowed into your life. And if that direction doesn't match your energy, or worse, opposes it, you may spend years working hard to feel grounded, without realizing your own home is sending you in the wrong direction. Literally. Imagine waking up every morning and walking out a gate that faces a direction that doesn't align with you, like walking against a current, day after day. You don't see it, but you feel it. There's more resistance, more second guessing, more delays. You pour effort in, but the results feel misaligned. You make plans, but something always gets in the way. It's not that you're unlucky, it's that your path forward is not flowing with you. And that resistance shows up not just in tasks, but in your mood, your relationships, even your health. Now let's make this real. Say you're someone who naturally thrives on warmth, connection, and intuitive flow. Your energy is water-like, but your gate faces south, the direction of fire. At first, it might feel motivating, but over time, it becomes agitation. Water evaporates in fire. Your emotional well-being feels strained. You feel hurried, pressured. You long for ease but keep walking into heat. This isn't superstition, it's the energetic version of misalignment. Just like wearing shoes that don't fit, they may look fine, but every step takes something from you. Direction matters, because energy, just like people, has personality. Some directions are stimulating, some are grounding, some are confrontational, and others are nourishing. The key is to find the one that complements who you are and how you want to live. When your gate faces that direction, life feels smoother. Doors open more easily. You feel like yourself clear, focused, unshaken. But when the direction is wrong, even good things feel like work. Even rest feels like a task. And it's not just about the compass. It's about what the gate faces out into. A steep downhill road, that pulls energy away from you. A chaotic intersection, that stirs up static. A sharp corner from a neighbor's roof pointing directly at your entrance. That's like a silent blade cutting through the calm you've tried to build. These are things most people overlook because they're outside the home. But they're not outside your energy field. Your gate is a bridge between you and the world. What it faces eventually finds its way in. So the question becomes, what is your gate currently facing, and how does it feel when you approach it? Do you feel supported, or exposed, encouraged, or pulled in too many directions? Try this. Stand just outside your gate, close your eyes, and walk back in slowly. Notice your body. Do you feel lifted or heavier? Open or guarded? Is there a sense of alignment or subtle resistance? These are not just feelings. They are messages, signals from your energy body telling you something is off or beautifully right. And the beauty is, you don't have to demolish anything to shift this. You can soften a harsh direction. You can shield from conflicting forces. You can guide energy gently toward you with plants, with stones, with simple intentional design. Even a curved path from gate to door can redirect the flow just enough to reduce friction. This isn't about control. It's about cooperation. It's about making your environment feel like an ally, not an uphill battle. Because when your gate aligns with your energy, everything changes. You feel more present, less anxious. Ideas come easier. Rest actually restores you. You're not fighting your space anymore, you're moving with it. Life doesn't feel lighter because it's less full. It feels lighter because you're no longer walking into resistance. We spend so much time trying to make the inside of our homes feel good. We paint, we decorate, we renovate. But the truth is, no matter how beautiful the inside is, it won't feel right if the energy coming in is off. The direction of your gate decides the first feeling you experience when you walk in, and the first feeling is often the one that lingers the longest. So, if you felt misaligned lately, like your energy is being pulled in directions you didn't choose, it may not be your schedule, or your habits, or even your mindset. It might be your gate, the way it faces, the path it offers, the direction it silently asks you to walk toward every single day. In the next section, we'll explore a detail that seems so small. Most people never notice it until their whole life starts to feel stuck. Because even if your gate faces the right direction, if it's hard to open, it's still telling energy to stay away. And that kind of resistance, it doesn't just affect energy, it affects you. Part 4. A heavy gate sends a sad message. There's a small moment, barely a few seconds, that happens every day, and most people never think twice about it. You arrive home, reach for the gate, and try to open it. Sometimes it glides. Sometimes it sticks. Sometimes it creaks. Maybe you have to push a little harder than you'd like. Maybe it slams shut behind you loudly, without warning. It seems minor, forgettable. But in that brief moment, something deeper is being said. A gate that resists you is not just wood or metal. It's a mirror. It reflects the flow or the struggle of your energy. And when you meet resistance at the very entrance to your home, day after day, your body starts to remember that message. This is going to be hard. And over time, without realizing it, your spirit begins to echo it. Doors and gates are not just for keeping things in or out. They're thresholds, transitions. They shape the way we move from one world into another, from the outside into the intimate, from motion into rest, from survival into presence. And when that threshold feels stuck, or squeaks with tension, or pushes back against you, you don't just feel annoyed. You start to feel blocked, uninvited, like your home is hesitating to let you in. It might sound exaggerated until you start to notice how many things in your life feel like effort. Like they take more energy than they should. Like everything needs an extra push. This isn't coincidence. This is programming. Your nervous system takes cues from your environment. If the very first interaction with your space is one of tension, friction, or noise, that pattern echoes through the rest of your experience. Think about it. When your gate is hard to open, you start the journey home with resistance. When it slams behind you, you feel startled. When it creaks or groans, even softly, it creates a vibration that doesn't say welcome, it says not yet. And what's even more subtle but more powerful is how that affects energy too. In energetic terms, every physical object carries a message, and movement, especially movement that repeats daily, magnifies that message. So when your gate opens with grace, it says this space is ready, this energy is clear, you are welcome. But when it scrapes, grinds, or hesitates, it creates friction in the field around it. Energy doesn't like friction, it avoids it, just like we avoid doors that are hard to open or paths that don't feel safe. The result: good energy begins to hesitate. It stays at the edge, it visits but doesn't stay. And eventually, you start to feel like you're doing everything right, but still not getting the full benefit. That's the hardest part. When you're trying, giving, adjusting, growing, but something still feels stuck. Often, it's not your intention that's off, it's your entry point. The way you open your day matters. The way you open your home matters. And the way your gate opens sets the tone for both. Now think about how many times you've rushed in through your gate without noticing it slammed behind you, or how many times you've forced it open while carrying groceries, children, or simply your own tired self. Each time, your body absorbs the message, this is a threshold of resistance. And that begins to color your perception of what's possible inside. But here's the truth, this is not permanent. And it's not your fault. Gates age, hinges rust, foundations shift, we adapt. We tell ourselves it's just a small annoyance. But the real power lies in reclaiming that threshold, in saying this moment matters, this entrance matters, this message matters. Because when you smooth the motion of your gate, when you repair it, oil it, balance it, you're not just fixing a mechanism. You're removing friction from the very first moment of your day. You're telling your nervous system, I deserve ease, I welcome peace, I am allowed to move through life without resistance. And on an energetic level, that simple shift clears a block most people never even knew was there. Energy starts to enter without hesitation. It moves gently, respectfully, naturally, just like people do when they feel truly invited. So pause and ask yourself, what does your gate sound like when it opens? What does it feel like to pass through it? Does it resist you? Or does it move like breath, soft, open, responsive? And what if the answer to your fatigue, your stagnation, your unshakable sense of tension isn't inside your house at all, but waiting for you at the gate? The beautiful part is, change doesn't have to be complicated. A little oil, a small adjustment, even shifting the way the gate swings from inward to outward can shift the emotional current of your space. Outward opening represents invitation, readiness, movement forward. Inward suggests retreat, contraction, caution. Your gate should say, clearly I am open to good things. I am open to flow. I am open to support. Because when your gate opens effortlessly, you begin to as well. You start to notice where you've been pushing when you could have been receiving. Where you've been enduring what you could gently change. And that soft sound of ease, the absence of the creak, the lack of slam, isn't just silence. It's the sound of life getting lighter. In the next part, we'll talk about something that's often mistaken for strength, but can actually overpower your space completely. Because sometimes the gate isn't stuck. Sometimes it's just too big for the house it protects. And when the gate becomes bigger than the home, everything inside starts to shrink. Part 5. When the gate feels bigger than the home. At first glance, a large gate feels powerful. It stands tall. It's impressive. It creates a sense of security, of importance, of privacy. And in a world where bigger often seems better, it's easy to see why so many homeowners choose a grand entrance even for modest homes. But here's the quiet truth no one tells you. When the gate becomes larger than the home it protects, something inside begins to shrink. It's not about status or curb appeal. It's about energy, about proportion, about how space holds meaning, not just physically, but emotionally. A gate that towers over a small house doesn't just look unbalanced, it feels unbalanced. It creates an energetic mismatch where the entrance holds more power than what it's guarding. And over time, that dynamic becomes more than visual. It becomes personal. You may not notice it at first. The gate feels strong, substantial. But gradually, the house behind it starts to feel small, subdued. And for the people living inside, that imbalance can turn inward. You begin to feel overwhelmed. Like you're constantly trying to rise to something that's bigger than you. Like you're managing more than you can hold. Even when life is calm, there's a background pressure, a weight that doesn't come from within but presses in anyway. This happens because energy follows hierarchy. When the structure meant to welcome energy is too dominant, it overpowers the very space it's meant to nourish. It absorbs attention, it demands presence, and that can cause the home and everyone in it to operate under invisible strain. You start feeling like you have to prove something, maintain an image, keep up with a sense of grandness that doesn't reflect your actual needs. And that misalignment shows up in quiet, subtle ways. Maybe you struggle to fully relax at home. Maybe you feel like no matter how much you clean or upgrade, the space never quite feels warm. Maybe you find yourself exhausted by expectations you never consciously agreed to. These aren't random. They're the emotional echoes of a space that feels overpowered. There's another layer to this. In the natural world, the gateway or entrance to something is never larger than what it leads to. A forest path begins humbly. A nest is protected, not hidden by a fortress. Even in human-designed doorways are built to scale. Entrances gently lead into space, they don't overshadow it. But when a gate is oversized, that natural rhythm is broken. Instead of the gate serving the home begins to serve the gate. And with that comes something no one expects, a quiet sense of emptiness. Because when energy enters a space that can't hold it proportionally, it disperses. It bounces. It doesn't settle. Just like a large bowl with a small amount of water, the contents feel lost, spread thin. The house begins to feel echoey, emotionally cold, or oddly quiet even when people are there. This isn't about size. It's about suitability. A small home with a well-matched gate feels held, whole, complete. The energy arrives and stays. People feel grounded. Conversations linger. Sleep comes easier. But when the gate overreaches, it creates a kind of emotional dissonance. Like wearing someone else's coat, too big, too heavy, not yours. Sometimes the motivation behind building a large gate is protection, security, making a statement. And that's valid. In a world that often feels unstable, we all crave a sense of boundary, of control. But boundaries don't have to be loud to be effective. In fact, the strongest ones are often quiet, measured, balanced, calm. A gate that is appropriately sized says, this is a home that knows itself. This is a space that holds its energy well. So what can you do if your gate already feels too large? You don't have to tear it down, but you can soften its presence, add warmth, introduce life, place potted plants on either side, add gentle lighting, use color or texture to visually pull it back toward the scale of your home, anything that shifts the tone from dominance to invitation. Or go even deeper. Ask yourself, what image was I trying to protect or project when I chose this gate? Was it safety? Was it success? Was it separation from the world? And now, does that still feel true? Or is it time to let your home feel more like a place of balance, rather than a place of performance? Because your gate, as we've said, isn't just an object. It's a message, and when that message is louder than the life it introduces, it creates confusion not just for energy, but for you. This is your space, your pace, your rhythm. Your home doesn't need to look grand to feel powerful. It needs to feel like it fits you. Like it reflects who you really are, not who you feel you have to be. And when your gate matches that, something shifts. You feel less pressure, less noise. You breathe a little deeper when you arrive. You stop bracing. You begin to feel like you're entering a space that protects you gently, not towers over you. In the next part, we'll shift focus to something even more subtle, but just as powerful: light. Because even the most perfectly sized, beautifully placed gate can lose its strength if it's left in the dark. And sometimes, all it takes is one soft light to tell the universe this home is alive. This energy is welcome. Final. You've made it here to the end of this journey. And maybe along the way, something opened in you too. Because this wasn't just about design. It was about awareness. About noticing the quiet ways your home is already shaping how you feel, how you move, how you receive. We talked about energy, but not in some abstract, mystical way. We talked about flow, friction, harmony, real forces that you experience every single day. In your sleep, in your stress, in the way conversations unfold, or how opportunities show up and whether they stay. Your front gate, simple as it may seem, is a messenger. It carries signals you didn't know you were sending. Signals of ease or resistance. Signals of readiness or protection. And the beauty is, you don't need to do everything at once. You just need to listen to the creak, the weight, the direction. To how you feel when you come home. Maybe you saw yourself in the tightness of a gate pressed against the sidewalk. Maybe you recognized the quiet anxiety of energy rushing in and out, never staying long enough to settle. Or maybe you felt the emotional weight of a gate too grand for a house that just wants to be enough. Whatever it was, whatever landed for you, I want to say this clearly. It's not too late to change how energy enters your life. You don't need to start over. You just need to realign, to soften, to bring your home into relationship with who you really are now, not who you were when you first built it. Because when energy is welcomed, not rushed. When movement is smooth, not forced. When your home opens its arms, not just its door, that's when things begin to stay. Not just energy, but peace, love, money, time, joy. I want to thank you truly for being here, for giving yourself the space to think differently, feel deeper, and maybe, just maybe, walk back through your front gate tonight with new eyes. May it open with ease. May it hold your energy gently. And may it always, always remind you, you deserve a space that supports your becoming. Take care of your home, and it will take care of you. I'll see you in the next video.